How do you define something that is so unique, so versatile, something that is seen in so many different applications? TheBusinessDictionary.com defines it as the action of leading a group of people or an organization. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary says it is the capacity to lead, leadership. There are countless people, websites, and dictionaries that have pinpointed exactly what leadership truly is, or so they think. But the fact of the matter is that it is impossible to define this term on just pen and paper, to encapsulate all that goes into it in a simple phrase or sentence. Leadership is a concept that each person must define for themselves. My years spent with student council have allowed me to grasp exactly what leadership means for me. I now define leadership by the 4 main principles that have proven to be of utmost importance in my own experiences. One of the first things I learned was a sense of organization that has proven to be vital in my student council position. Then, in the face of failure, I've discovered that one must overcome setbacks in order to truly be successful. In addition, I have learned to embrace the importance of trusting others and have learned to utilize delegation. And lastly, I have learned that recognition is meaningless. With each dance, event, or fundraiser planned, Student Council has allowed me to create my own definition of a great leader. From the moment I took on my first job in Student Council, through the many committees that have followed, I've learned that organization is more than just neatness, but it's a lifestyle. Yes, I do have to keep track of what seems like thousands of agendas, forms, and random papers that swarm my desk and binder. But let me tell you, that's the least of my worries. I have to constantly know what comes next on the perpetual to-do list, plan ahead for what our next project will be, make sure Mr. Twarok knows exactly what we're doing, and if he doesn't know, somehow persuade him that it's okay, and all while having the council's goals and the student body in mind. Oh, and all while organizing 35 high schoolers of all ages, skills, and sometimes maturity. Through Student Council, I have learned one of the most essential characteristics of being a leader, a natural ability to stay organized. Whether it be papers, projects, or people, leadership involves not only being on top of everything, but always being one step ahead. This means I have to be that one person who knows exactly what they're doing, even if that means I'm just really good at faking it. Over these past few years, I've learned that a true leader has the ability to organize everything in the midst of pure chaos and still know how to have a successful project in the end. Student Council has proven to be a rather stressful job, and along with the need to stay organized, it has trained me to be able to cope with inevitable failures and obstacles. Whether it be a dog show that never got approved or a lip sync battle that was canceled, it is not uncommon in Student Council to encounter setbacks to our success. While this is very frustrating and at times can cause some serious disappointment from the student body, leaders must be able to bounce back, and they must be the ones who continue to move forward. For example, using our time to create an entirely new event for next year instead of wallowing in pity, or rescheduling the anticipated battle for a later date. Leadership is about persevering despite failure and working even harder to make your next project a success. Through all the valuable failures and rewarding successes, I've come to appreciate the power of utilizing others. Being the president of Student Council does not mean that I'm the boss. Although I have a rather strong bossy gene, Student Council has taught me that leadership is more about the goal and less about the role. Planning events for 700 people is a task that simply can't be done alone, and so my bossy tendencies must be set aside in order to truly be successful. As much as I sometimes wish I could get it all done exactly my way and all by myself, knowing that I can trust my members with these same tasks is one of the best things about my role, and yet another learning experience in itself. Delegation has proven to be an essential part of my job, and often I find myself sitting back while I watch others dutifully accomplish our tasks and diligently work towards success. Although I've tried at times, it is physically and emotionally impossible for me to micromanage everyone. I don't have the time or the willpower to constantly remind everyone of what they should be doing. And so I have learned the important lessons of trust and trusting in one's integrity. I'm thankful for each and every Student Council member who makes my job easier by never failing to disappoint me. Being president does not mean that I do everything. Being a leader does not mean being the boss. Being a leader is about creating other leaders, about trusting other people's integrity, and about selflessly working together to reach your goals. While delegation and working with others is an essential component to leadership, above all, Student Council has taught me that leadership does not depend on recognition. After spending hours upon hours devoted to planning school dances, assemblies, and various community service projects, Seeing them unfold even better than you imagined makes all the late nights and grueling 3-hour meetings all worth it. No award, certificate, or plaque is as meaningful as seeing a student's reaction to a crazy assembly, a spirit-filled homecoming week, or just a single small act of kindness. Having just one single person thank you for positively affecting them, for something that you put so much hard work into, makes all the other acknowledgement meaningless. A true leader is someone who doesn't need the reward in order to be happy. They don't look for the credit in order to continue helping others. And most of all, everything they do is out of a genuine desire to positively impact the lives of those around them. With each dance, event, or fundraiser planned, Student Council has allowed me to create my own definition of a great leader. I've learned how crucial it is to stay organized in all aspects of my life and how to manage 35 teenagers. Persevering through failures and obstacles has provided my council with even more success. Through a little bit of trial and error, I've discovered how it is impossible to do everything by myself, and I've relied on the power of delegation. And most importantly, I have learned that recognition is truly meaningless. Leadership is about dealing with the inevitable chaos and stress in life, about trusting others even when you think you don't have to, and always remembering why you are doing it, not for the award or to get into a better college, but because you love inspiring and helping others. Leadership doesn't have to be about changing the world or about being in charge. It's not always about transforming an entire school or impacting the lives of 1 million people. Leadership is defined by all the hard work and passion that goes into it, by the people who help others, and by each and every person who has been inspired to do the same. For me, the definition of leadership is perfectly explained by John Maxwell. Leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others.